Hello. Excuse me. We recently did a video, one of these videos that had to do with left-hand technique. The feedback from the video was fairly positive. So what I wanted to do this time was to do a follow-on video related to that. The idea that we want to promote is whenever you can hold 4 strings down, you can play that same chord anywhere on the fretboard. So we want to add one more concept, idea that's extremely important. When you learn chords, when you're practicing left-hand technique, chords should be learned in 3 different dimensions. Number 1, where do you have to put your fingers in order to make that chord? Here's C, oh, just one finger, and here's D, or here's another D. That's the first dimension. Where do you put your fingers in order to do the chord? The second dimension is to take a look at the song that you're trying to learn and figure out what the progression is. Progression is nothing more than a series of chords that make musical sense. When we learn a new song, we're taking the chords that the composer intended to use to give that song meaning. And so the second dimension again is nothing more than the progression that the composer intended. You get this by looking at the music, and great news, you'll find that generally in the songs that we like to play, they generally use between 2 and 4 chords. So that's dimension 1 and 2. The third is extremely important. And that third dimension is, once you become familiar with the song and the chords that you have to use, the question then becomes, what is the most efficient way of moving from one chord to the other? You have to create for yourself a nice, big, wide, smooth road to get from one chord to the other, because when you do that, the music will come out much better. I want to show you a single progression today, and it's very, very easy, and so it'll address the fact that if we hold down 4 strings, we can play that same progression anywhere. Okay, the other thing I want to point out with that is I want to use this progression in order to show efficiency of movement with the fingers. Okay, so here comes this progression of just 4 chords. First is C with my baby finger, C. And then I'm going to go here, keep the baby finger there. Okay, and this chord is nothing more than these 3 guys. You hold G, move everything up 1, and keep that baby finger there. This is chord number 2. Chord number 1 here, chord number 2 here. Chord number 3 is, and keep the baby finger there, and I'm going to hold D minor at the same time. So it's holding C and D minor at the same time, keeping the baby finger there. And this is chord number 3. Chord number 4, hey, guess what that baby finger is going to do? It's going to stay right there. And all I'm going to do in chord number 4 is bar the 1st fret. Now, listen to this progression. Just listen to it. It's very, very nice. But the good thing about this is, if I wanted to do this here, I have to bar the 2nd fret in order to get it to D. I'm moving from C to D. But the baby finger is there. Baby finger stays there. Position of the rest of the fingers is the same. Like here, this is chord number 3, remember? And here comes chord number 4. And then we're back to the beginning. But because I'm holding down 4 strings, I can play this anywhere. Let's go here. Same progression. The other great news about this progression is that it's very, very related to a progression that you're probably familiar with, and that progression is C, A minor, F, G7. Listen to this. You're familiar with that. Once more. Now let me play this progression, and you can hear that the musical sentence is the same. So, play with this. Remember, the lesson is efficiency in moving from chord to chord with the left hand. We learn chords in 3 dimensions. Number 1, where do we need to put our fingers in order to get to that chord? Number 2, what is the progression that the composer intended? Do not guess at this. All you have to do is look at the music that the composer wrote. And number 3, which is what we address today, is figure out how to very, very efficiently get from one chord to the next. Let me know how it goes.